Two people born in the same place, same family, same initial opportunities. Decades later, one built a life of fulfillment, the other of frustration. What separated their destinies wasn't luck, it was vibration. This is Itzhak Bentov's most unsettling discovery. It's not about meditation or techniques. It's about how your fundamental vibrational state functions as an unwritten law of the universe. You attract experiences compatible with your internal frequency. Bentov wasn't a mystic. He was an engineer, inventor of the cardiac catheter. When he began investigating consciousness, he brought a scientific question. If the body functions as a biological oscillator, and if all oscillators follow predictable physical laws, then why would consciousness seem to be outside these laws? Why would one person's experience of an event be completely different from another's? The answer he arrived at changes everything. Experience is not determined by the event. It's determined by internal frequency at the moment of the event. Two people receive rejection. One vibrates at the frequency of "I'll never make it," and experiences rejection as confirmation, absorbs the vibration of rejection. This modulates their own vibration downward. Subsequent rejection becomes even more likely because their vibration now attracts situations compatible with it. Downward cycle. The other person receives the same rejection, but vibrates at the frequency of "I'm learning," experiences rejection as data, not as identity. Their vibration remains stable or even rises because they're vibrating in curiosity. Next opportunities become more likely because they're vibrating at a frequency that attracts possibility. Same event. Two destinies. Difference. Vibration. Bentov began his work from a simple laboratory observation. When two oscillators are close and one has greater amplitude, the second inevitably synchronizes with the first. There's no negotiation. There's no choice. It's pure physics. He realized the same happened with human bodies in meditation. When a meditator reached a state of high coherence, their electromagnetic field organized itself, and nearby people began to synchronize automatically, not by suggestion, by resonance. But Bentov went further. He asked himself, if resonance physics works this way at the bodily level, why wouldn't it work at the level of experience? If your body is an oscillator and experience is what the oscillator emits into the surrounding field, then wouldn't your fundamental vibration be responsible for what type of experience you can access? This led him to a radical conclusion. Destiny is not something that happens to you. It's something you emit. Like a radio station transmitting on a specific frequency, FM station 101.5 cannot pick up signals from FM 89.3, not because it's trying to ignore them, but because it can only resonate with the frequency it's tuned to. You operate exactly like this. Your internal vibration tunes you into specific layers of reality. When you vibrate in fear, you literally cannot detect opportunities that require courage to be seen. They may be right in front of you, but your frequency doesn't make them accessible. Like trying to hear a conversation on a frequency your radio cannot pick up. Change the frequency, not through superficial positive visualization, but through real change in vibration. And suddenly, opportunities that were invisible become obvious. People who were undetectable enter your life. Circumstances that seemed impossible reveal themselves as possible. Bentov called this destiny resonance. Your destiny is not fixed. It's fluid, dynamic, determined moment by the frequency you're emitting. Bentov's discovery that really changes everything is about feedback loops. How your vibration not only attracts experiences, but these experiences reinforce and amplify the original vibration. Let's say you vibrate at the frequency of inadequacy. This vibration is like a transmitter, emits a continuous signal into the field. The field, being resonant, responds by sending back compatible experiences, unexpected criticism, opportunities that don't materialize, people who don't understand your value. These experiences reinforce the original vibration of inadequacy, which then emits a stronger signal, which attracts even more intense experiences of inadequacy. Amplifying cycle, downward spiral that can last years, decades, an entire lifetime. But the opposite is also true. You vibrate at the frequency of exploration. This is a different transmission. The field responds with compatible experiences. People open to collaboration, projects that flow, synchronicities that lead to discoveries. These experiences reinforce the original vibration of exploration, which emits a more coherent signal, which attracts even greater opportunities. Upward spiral, positive cycle that self-amplifies. Bentov observed this in meditators who managed to escape destructive patterns. They didn't wait for life to change and then start vibrating differently. They deliberately changed the vibration first, and subsequent life changed in response. Because feedback loops work like this, the implication is that your destiny is not predetermined. But it's also not random. It's determined by the vibration you maintain, and vibration is the most malleable thing about you. It can change in the next moment. A discovery that Bentov explored but rarely discussed openly. Collective frequencies determine collective destiny, not just individual. When a group vibrates at a similar frequency, they create a shared coherent field. This field has different properties from individual fields. It's more powerful, more stable, more capable of attracting compatible experiences. Bentov observed this in communities. Neighborhoods where people vibrated in fear had more crime, more deterioration. Not because crime caused fear, but because collective fear attracted circumstances compatible with fear. Families where people vibrated in optimism and collaboration had better health, more success in children, more prosperity, not by luck, by collective vibrational attraction. This means that when you change your personal vibration, you're not just changing your individual destiny, you're impacting the collective field. You're elevating the frequency of the environment around you. And this changes the shared destiny of those near you. The inverse also holds. If you vibrate at a low frequency, you're pulling down the collective vibration, contributing to downward cycles that affect everyone around you. Bentov suggested that real responsibility begins here. It's not just about your own destiny, it's about the vibrational impact you have on everyone around you. Bentov made another discovery that explains why some people seem stuck in patterns. Traumas crystallize low frequencies profoundly. When something traumatic happens, your vibration doesn't just drop, it gets fixed, like a record needle stuck in a groove, repeating the same note over and over. You experience betrayal. Your vibration drops to the frequency of distrust. Initially, this is an appropriate response, protection. But if the vibration stays stuck there, you begin to attract experiences compatible with distrust. People who confirm your distrust, situations that seem to validate that you can't trust. Stuck trauma crystallizes. You remain at the frequency of distrust for years and continue attracting experiences that reinforce it. More betrayals, more misunderstanding, more reasons to distrust. Bentov observed that people who managed to recover from traumas didn't deny the trauma. They recognized that the vibration had been stuck and deliberately unlocked it, small adjustment at a time, until the needle began to move again. This explains why emotional therapy alone is not enough. You can emotionally process the trauma, but if the vibration continues fixed at the trauma frequency, life continues attracting trauma experiences. You need intervention in the vibration itself. Bentov suggested that emotional scars have a vibrational component, and vibrational scars need vibrational cleansing, not just emotional processing. Bentov made it clear that his discovery doesn't mean destiny is totally determined, but it also doesn't mean it's totally free. It's in between. Your current vibration was the result of millions of small choices in the past. Genetics, trauma, environment, decisions. All of this contributed to your vibration today. But your vibration today doesn't determine your vibration tomorrow. You can choose to change. It's not easy. The longer you've vibrated at a frequency, the more comfortable you become in it, the more your reality organizes around it. But it's possible. And this is where free will meets destiny. You don't choose your inherited vibration, but you choose whether to maintain it or change it. Bentov observed that people who managed to change destiny were those who first recognized, "My current destiny is the result of my current vibration," and then made the deliberate choice, "I want a different vibration, even if it's uncomfortable at first." This initial choice changes everything because it changes what type of experience you begin to attract, which reinforces the new vibration, which attracts more compatible experiences. New feedback loop. Bentov identified that there are specific moments where destiny is particularly malleable. He called them transition times. When you leave a job, when a relationship ends, when you move to a new city, when you face a crisis. In these moments, your vibration is disorganized. The old pattern has dissolved, but the new one hasn't crystallized yet. It's a dangerous period. You're vulnerable to random frequencies, easily pulled in any direction, but it's also a period of maximum opportunity. Because your vibration is malleable, small adjustments at this moment can rewrite your destiny. Bentov suggested that it's in these transition moments that vibrational choices are most critical, not the practical choices of which job to accept, but the internal choice. At what frequency will I vibrate while navigating this transition? If you vibrate in fear during transition, you'll crystallize a new pattern based on fear and attract experiences that confirm fear. New destiny will be based on fear. If you vibrate in curiosity during transition, you'll crystallize a new pattern based on exploration and attract experiences that support discovery. New destiny will be based on possibility. Bentov said that life offers these windows, moments where you can consciously rewrite the fundamental vibration that determines everything that follows. Most people don't recognize these windows. They go through transition on autopilot, reactive, and reproduce the same patterns. Bentov extended this analysis to entire groups and societies. If individuals have destiny determined by vibration, what about nations? A society that collectively vibrates in fear has a destiny of conformism, stagnation, surveillance. Institutions organize around this vibration. The leaders who emerge reflect this vibration. Policies that are implemented reinforce the vibration of fear. A society that vibrates in curiosity and exploration has a destiny of innovation, freedom, creativity. Institutions organize differently. Different leaders emerge. Different policies are possible. Bentov wasn't naive. He knew that external circumstances, resources, history, geography matter. But he said that collective vibration determines how those circumstances are interpreted and used. Two nations with equal resources can have radically different destinies based on collective vibration. One vibrates in scarcity despite abundance. Another vibrates in possibility despite limitations. Destinies follow. Here, Bentov made an important point that was often misinterpreted. If your vibration determines your destiny, you are responsible for what you experience. But this doesn't mean it's your fault. This distinction is critical. Fault is retroactive moral judgment. You deserved it because you vibrated at a low frequency. This is perverse. Responsibility is different. It's recognition that you have agency over your vibration now, and this agency changes what's possible afterward. Bentov was clear. Traumatized people are not at fault for traumas that occurred, but they are responsible for how they let trauma crystallize or not their vibration. People born in poverty are not at fault for initial poverty, but they have the opportunity to change vibration in response to that circumstance. And when they change vibration, new possibilities open up. This distinction between fault and responsibility is what allows Bentov's discovery not to be dehumanizing. It's liberating, because it says, you're not at fault for the past, but you are responsible for the present, and responsibility for the present is power over the future. A question Bentov constantly received: if vibration determines destiny, why do some people seem stuck despite trying to change? His answer was simple: because they didn't change the fundamental vibration. They changed behavior. Changed behavior without changed vibration is trying to stop the wave from continuing in the ocean. It may work for a while, but the wave is stronger. Eventually, it returns. Bentov observed people who tried to force life change without changing underlying vibration. They achieved temporary success, but the original vibrational pattern always re-emerged and pulled the person back to the original destiny. The inverse too. People who changed vibration but maintained the same behavior. Initially, this seemed to produce little, but over time, new behavior compatible with new vibration began to emerge spontaneously, and destiny reorganized around the new vibration. This suggests that vibration is more fundamental than behavior. Behavior is an epiphenomenon of vibration. Change the vibration, behavior follows. Bentov was pragmatic. If you want a different destiny, don't start with behavior. Start with vibration, because you can force behavior for a while, but you can't force vibration against the current indefinitely. The vibration eventually resurfaces. Bentov didn't romanticize what happened when you remained at a low vibrational frequency. He saw the cost. Destiny is not just about events that occur. It's about the quality of life while you're living it. When you vibrate at a low frequency, everything is harder. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because low frequency is high friction. It's internal disharmony. Your nervous system is on alert. Your muscles are tense. Your perception is filtered. You see threat where there's neutrality. You see rejection where there's indifference. You see impossibility where there's potential. Over time, living in constant friction has a cost. Immune system becomes compromised. Energy is drained. Relationships deteriorate. Creativity paralyzed. Bentov observed that people at low vibrational frequency not only attracted worse experiences, they experienced the same experiences much more negatively than people at higher frequency. One rejection, person in high vibration, wasn't the right match, moving on. Person in low vibration confirms I'll never make it. Same event, completely different experience, completely different impact on subsequent destiny. Bentov emphasized something few recognize. The power of simply recognizing your current vibration is the first step to changing it. Most people live completely unconscious of the vibration they're emitting. They wake up, react to the day, absorb ambient frequencies, sleep, wash, rinse, repeat. But the moment you notice, I'm vibrating in fear at this moment, something changes. You're no longer totally trapped in that frequency. There's an observer, and the observer has choice. Bentov said this recognition doesn't need sophisticated technique. Just, at what frequency am I vibrating at this exact moment? You can feel it. As emotion, as body tension, as the tone of your thoughts. Once you feel the vibration, you have information. And with information, you have power. Power to leave the vibration as it is, or power to adjust it. Most people never exercise this power because they never recognize the vibration. They live as if they had no choice. They live as if destiny were made of completely external force. But Bentov knew the power is in you, in your vibration. In every moment where you recognize what frequency you're emitting and have the opportunity to choose whether you want to continue emitting that one or change to another. Bentov left a truth that was both simple and profound. Your destiny is not something the universe does to you. It's something the universe does in response to you, specifically in response to the vibration you emit. Change the vibration, change the destiny. Not eventually, not someday, now. Because vibration and attraction are simultaneous. When you change the frequency in this moment, the universe begins to respond differently in this moment. It may take time for new experiences to crystallize. It may take time for new feedback loops to establish themselves. But the process begins immediately, because resonance works like this. The question Bentov left is not, "What is my destiny?" It's, "What vibration am I choosing now?" Because this choice, made moment by moment, is destiny being created.